Victoria, the soulful capital of British Columbia, Part 3. Industry, service, tourism, culture, and daily life. Friends, Part 3 is also very rich in information about this city, which is truly a heaven on earth. So your rapt attention is solicited. If Part 1 explained where Victoria comes from, and Part 2 explained who lives here and how the city sustains itself, then Part 3 reveals how Victoria actually lives, works, relaxes, and expresses its soul. This is where the city becomes visible not just as a capital, but as a lived experience. Victoria's industrial character is shaped as much by what it avoids as by what it embraces. Unlike many cities that grew around factories or large scale extraction, Victoria made an early and deliberate choice to protect its natural environment and human scale. Heavy industry was never allowed to dominate the city. Instead, Victoria developed a selective and specialized industrial base aligned with its geography and values. The most significant industrial presence in Victoria is marine and naval services. Due to its deep natural harbor and strategic Pacific location, Victoria has long supported ship repair, maintenance, and marine engineering. These services are critical for Canada's naval operations on the west coast. Skilled tradespeople, engineers, and technicians work quietly behind the scenes to keep vessels operational. This industry may not be visible to tourists, but it plays an important role in national security and regional employment. Alongside marine services, Victoria has developed a modest but meaningful manufacturing sector focused on specialized products rather than mass production. Food processing, craft beverages, specialty equipment, and niche manufacturing form part of this landscape. These businesses tend to be small to medium in scale, locally owned, and closely integrated with the community. Technology and innovation have become increasingly important to Victoria's economic identity. The city has earned recognition as a center for clean technology, ocean sciences, software development, and environmental innovation. Many technology firms in Victoria work at the intersection of science, sustainability, and policy. This is no coincidence. Proximity to the University of Victoria, government institutions, and research bodies creates a fertile environment for applied innovation. Victoria's technology sector is known for quality rather than volume. Startups here often focus on solving real world problems such as climate adaptation, marine protection, renewable energy systems, and digital governance tools. Employees are drawn not only by work opportunities but by lifestyle balance. This makes retention strong and workplace culture distinctive. The service sector dominates daily economic life in Victoria. Professional services such as law, accounting, consulting, education, and healthcare employ a large share of the population. These services support government, businesses, residents, and visitors alike. Because of the city's role as a capital, legal and policy related services are particularly prominent. Tourism is where Victoria's identity becomes most visible to outsiders. The city is one of Canada's most visited destinations, and tourism here is not accidental. It is carefully curated around heritage, nature, and experience. The inner harbour is the symbolic heart of this identity. With the Parliament buildings, historic hotels, museums, and waterfront walkways, it presents an image of Canada that is both refined and welcoming. The Royal British Columbia Museum serves as a cultural anchor. It preserves Indigenous history, natural history, and provincial heritage in a way that educates residents and visitors alike. It reinforces Victoria's role as a place of learning and reflection, not just entertainment. The Parliament buildings themselves are more than administrative structures, they are architectural statements of democratic continuity and public accessibility. Open spaces, guided tours, and public grounds encourage citizens to see governance as something they can approach, not fear. Butchart Gardens, located just outside the city, adds another dimension to Victoria's tourism appeal. These gardens are internationally renowned and symbolize the city's deep relationship with nature, aesthetics, and seasonal beauty. They attract visitors from around the world and reinforce Victoria's reputation as a place where environment and culture coexist. Beyond iconic attractions, Victoria's tourism is also driven by everyday pleasures. Whale watching tours, coastal walks, cycling paths, and neighborhood cafes offer experiences that are personal rather than spectacular. This encourages longer stays and repeat visits. Culture in Victoria is layered and understated. British influence remains visible in traditions such as afternoon tea, heritage architecture, and formal gardens. At the same time, indigenous art, storytelling, and cultural events are increasingly prominent. Indigenous voices are not confined to museums but appear in public art festivals and civic discourse. Music, theatre, and the performing arts thrive in Victoria. The city supports orchestras, theatre companies, independent artists, and community events. Performances are well attended, reflecting a population that values cultural enrichment. Festivals throughout the year celebrate everything from music and film to food and multicultural heritage. Daily life in Victoria follows a rhythm shaped by nature and walkability. Many residents walk or cycle to work. Cafes are gathering places rather than rushed stops. Markets connect local producers with consumers. Time outdoors is not a luxury but a routine. Food culture in Victoria emphasizes local sourcing and sustainability. Seafood, fresh produce, artisanal products, and international cuisines coexist. Restaurants range from fine dining to casual neighborhood spots, often reflecting the diversity of the population. Community life is strong. Volunteerism, local associations, and neighborhood initiatives are common. People tend to know their surroundings and participate in shaping them. Public consultations are well attended, and civic debate is generally thoughtful rather than polarized. Victoria's lifestyle appeals strongly to those who value balance. It is not a city of extremes. Ambition exists, but it is tempered by concern for well being. Success is measured not only by income but by quality of life. This lifestyle also brings challenges. The popularity of Victoria increases pressure on housing, infrastructure, and services. Tourism must be managed carefully to protect what attracts visitors in the first place. Growth requires restraint and foresight, yet these challenges are approached with a long term perspective. Decisions in Victoria tend to be deliberate. There is an understanding that once nature or community fabric is lost, it cannot easily be restored. Victoria's industry, services, tourism, and culture together form a coherent whole. They reflect a city that knows who it is and what it wants to preserve. Economic activity here serves life rather than the other way around.